Good morning. Welcome to another big farmers market day here at Wishwell Farms. It is Saturday morning at 4 a.m. and boy, do I have a ton of packing ahead of me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take the camera around and show the entire packing process because I will never get done in time. I got about 4 hours of hard manual labor ahead of me. I want to set you up on time lapse so you can see the whole process happen really quickly. I'll bring you back at the end and show you everything that I have packed on the trucks. And I will also be going to one of the farmers markets to unload some cantaloupes. And I also plan to get some farmers market footage from my employees at the other farmers markets around Columbus. All right, my name is Jason. Thanks for joining me. Let's get busy. Before I set you up on time lapse, I'll give you a peek here in the cooler. So everything you see in this cooler is getting ready to be rolled out right now. That's about 750 dozen ears of corn over there. The only thing that's staying in are those 700 cantaloupe over there. There's 8 bins that we picked yesterday. That will be for next week. I currently have about 700 or 800 already out here ready to be loaded on box trucks or already loaded on the trailers for today's sales. That was from those 1,000 melons that we harvested on Wednesday in the prior video. Check out the link in the description if you want to see that video, if you haven't seen it yet, of us harvesting those 1,000 melons. So as long as we sell all of our vegetables and sweet corn that I'm getting ready to load, this should be our biggest day of 2025 sales-wise, and quite possibly our biggest sales day of the entire season. We are peaking right now. Other than watermelon and field tomatoes, everything that we grow on our farm is being harvested right now and will be sold today on our box trucks. It's gonna be a busy, busy day. All right, the Worthington truck, our biggest farmers market in Columbus, is packed and ready to go. 60 tubs of sweet corn, 6 tubs of zucchini, 2 tubs of yellow squash, 3 tubs of eggplant, 2 tubs of peppers, 2 tubs of cucumbers. And back there in the corner, underneath those crates, are 36 boxes of tomatoes and 8 flats of grape tomatoes. Actually, the grape tomatoes are right there. Some garlic, some canning tomatoes, banana peppers, jalapeno peppers, 2 bins of cantaloupe. And these are the medium ones, so there's about 100 cantaloupes here. And on top of this bin of cantaloupes are 14 bushels of beans. And then 2 different sizes of bags with bag racks. We have some bag racks here. 10 by 15 pop-up tents. We have 3 of them there. Our tote full of market goodies down underneath these crates. Some salsa and maple syrup. All right, she is packed to the max and ready to roll to the old Worthington Farmers Market in Columbus, Ohio. Emma will be here in about 10 minutes, as well as Tyler, my neighbor, and they will be meeting Nate and Laney in Columbus. So it'll be a 4-person market. It should keep them hopping pretty good, and if all goes well, we should bring in about $6,000 from this truck. Okay, it is now 6 a.m. and things are going great so far this morning. I've been at it hard for about an hour and a half, finishing up these 3 box trucks, ready to head out to some Columbus farmers markets. Clintonville, which is pretty close to the Ohio State campus. Powell, which is about 15 miles north in Delaware County, kind of between Columbus and Delaware. And the Dublin Farmers Market, which is just a suburb on this side of Columbus. So I'm finished on the forklift. Everything has been forked into the trucks that needs to go. I made out 2 new price cards today. Let me show them to you. Since this is our first day of cantaloupe sales, everybody has a new price card. Sweet and juicy cantaloupe, $4 each. Everybody's price card is $4 except the Clintonville truck. They have jumbo melons, so theirs are $5 each. And then Today is our first day of dropping our tomato price to $2.95 from $3.50 a pound. And the main reason I do that is because here we are almost mid-August. Everybody is starting to get tomatoes in. So there's a lot more supply and less demand. So we drop our prices for not only that reason, but the quality of our greenhouse tomatoes has gone down. So they don't look as pretty and they just can't compete with field tomatoes that we were just starting to pick. We had a small pick yesterday. I will show that in a future video once they get rolling really well. So usually this time of year, we do drop our price back to $2.95 because we sell less and for the reasons I mentioned. So I think that helps us move a little more quantity and be more competitive with 5, 10, 15, 20 or more farmers selling tomatoes at the farmers markets. All right, I'm gonna close up these 3 trucks, pull these 2 out of the way so I can back up that trailer there, which is going to our local hometown farmers market just down the road. It leaves in an hour, so we gotta get it packed up next. It is now 7 a.m. and I have the Logan County farmers market trailer behind me. And the guy who is running it is behind me in our 5th box truck because he has 2 bins of melons in there and another stack of 4 corn that I didn't want to put in the back of my truck. This truck has some firewood in it, and you know, between the table and the banner and the cooler full of salsa, it was just a little tight back there. So I'm gonna pull this trailer into its space at the market and unload everything on that box truck, get him going. It's his first time working at this market, and this one uses the Square app, so we're gonna have to connect his phone to the Square, the Bluetooth Square card reader so he can take credit cards today. I'll help him get all of his displays out for tomatoes and dumping some corn, and then he'll be running it on his own until 9:30 a.m. By the way, it is 7 a.m. right now. So it has been a whirlwind of a morning, but things are going fantastic. I couldn't be happier. No one's got a flat tire. No one showed up late. You know, everything's going smoothly so far. So I'm gonna head up here and get Elijah set up at the farmer's market. We're only like 2 miles away. And then I will be bringing the box truck home, and I just have about 20 minutes left on our mobile produce trailer that goes to Marysville, our satellite location. So it won't take me too long to get that one going or finished up. And our final employee, Taryn, who has been working on and off for me for probably 15 years, if not more. She is running that one today. So I got to be home by 7:45 to get that finished up so we can get her on the road on time. All right, I got 2 bins of cantaloupes here. We're gonna roll them out of this box truck. The only problem with doing the market this way, that wasn't supposed to happen. Not up all the way. Yeah, push that gate down a little bit. There we go. So the only problem doing it this way with bins is that if we don't sell out here, I have to come back and load these up. Otherwise, you'll be able to throw empty bin and pallet in the back of the pickup truck and I won't have to come back. But this will look really nice having 2 full bins of lopes out here for sale next to our trailer. All right, we are set up and ready for business. Nice big pile of corn, 2 bins of cantaloupes, some eggplant, lots of big juicy tomatoes, our 3 varieties of salsa, grape tomatoes, maple syrup, some more sweet corn, zucchini, cucumbers, peppers, and green beans. All right, I am hitting the road. Got to head back home and finish up the other trailer. She leaves in a half an hour. It is now 8 o'clock and I got this second trailer ready in the nick of time. 6 extra tubs of corn, 20 or 30 extra cantaloupe. And here's everything else on here you can see. All of our veggies, lots of beautiful melons, our starter sweet corn, and then there's 12 more sweet corn under the shelf all the way around, a couple bushels of beans, think she's good to go. All right, there she goes. Whew, what a relief. Man, that was a busy, busy morning. So glad to have the very last one on the road. Everybody else is at market, either selling or in the process of setting up. Stay tuned till the end of the video because we're gonna sit down and talk numbers. Once I get all the trucks back home, unloaded, and everybody leaves, we're gonna sit down and go through the numbers on how much product we sold at our 6 locations today. Sweet corn, tomatoes, melons, green beans, all that good stuff. But right now, I'm heading inside to finally take a deep breath and relax and enjoy a cup of coffee and spend some time with my wife on her birthday. I guess I'm not going inside to relax. Elijah just called me from the Logan County Farmers Market, which is just down the road 4 miles, to tell me that I forgot to put extra sweet corn bags on the truck. So I am en route with a box of sweet corn bags. And while we're there, we'll film a little bit of the market. All right, I'm back here at the Logan County Farmers Market, and I actually just spent a few moments talking to this couple over here from Cincinnati. They came up here just to see our farmers market, or our farm stand here at the Logan County Market, because it was the closest one for them. They spent a lot of money at our stand. It was really nice meeting them. And let's go over and check out the produce stand and see how it's going. And I got the bags for Elijah. Just want to make sure he doesn't run out of corn bags. Looks like we got a little bit of business happening right now. People are loving the cantaloupes. It's still early. It's only like 8:45. Getting some business in there. Good deal. All right, I'm gonna drop these bags off and then we'll take a little walk through the market and see what's going on. All right, let's take a little stroll down through the market here before it gets too busy. Things are just getting rolling here. Oh, I could have bought some flowers for my wife here. Cottage garden, little produce stand here. Here's the market booth. Jandies. Some nice looking cherry tomatoes in there, jalapenos, popcorn, Jolly Acres. Jolly Acres got some nice looking pickles there. Got some hot prepared food here. Man, this looks good. Check out the menu. Smells good too. All right, Elijah. Give me a call if you got any questions about anything, and Amanda will be here to help you here about 9:30.
Sounds good, thanks.
All right, now I am finally gonna head home and spend some time with my wife. It is now 1:15 and I'm getting ready to run this truck up to our Logan County Farmers Market to get my pallet jack and those 2 bins full of melons. Well, they're now empty bins of melons. I think he was down to about 20 melons a few minutes ago when he texted me. So I have a little problem going on right now. I can barely walk. I've actually been laid up on my couch, unable to put weight on my right foot, ankle, for the last 2.5 hours. But I took some ibuprofen and I'm feeling a little better now. The last thing you want to do when you have a hurt ankle is to sit around and do nothing. So I'm trying to walk it off and being careful. So this morning at 5 a.m., I was jumping off one of these lift gates to climb back onto my forklift. I misjudged my step slightly and I clanked my ankle on this thing right here. And I fell to the ground and it hurt really bad, about as bad as a sprain. And I was able to walk it off, and I had to finish loading trucks. I was able to walk that off and felt fine for the next 2 or 3 hours. But then when I stopped working and sat down, that's when the pain really hit and it started swelling up. I put some ice on it, took some ibuprofen. I feel a lot better now. I'm still limping around, but I was actually getting ready to go get crutches at my cousin's. He has a pair of them down the road, about a half mile away. I didn't even think I was gonna be able to walk. I had my son lined up to go get the melon bins at the market, but I'm feeling better now, and I'm gonna go up and get them myself, so come along. Back at the Logan County Farmers Market, let's go check things out. All right, looks like Elijah's been doing a good job getting things cleaned up. He's got our table cleared off where the syrup and the salsa and relish was. Looks like he did pretty good. Everything's kind of cleaned out right here real good. Just got, looks like 4 or 5 boxes of tomatoes there. Empty bin of melons. And there's the last of them. 15 or so. And about 2 tubs worth of corn. Nice job, Elijah. You've been busy.
Yep. Ever get busy, and then it'd give me just enough time to get all restacked up and everything.
Yep.
And then it'd get busy again. So.
Oh, you're getting all those tokens counted.
Yeah.
So these are tokens that they pick up at the market tent down here, and then they can bring them around and spend these, $1 each, specifically for the Logan County Farmers Market. And then these are statewide produce perks, $1 each. All right, I'm gonna condense all these beans in the 1.5 bushels or whatever is left there. Get the empty bins and pallets and pallet jack, put in my box truck, and we'll get this thing closed up and back to the farm. All right, our work here at the Logan County Farmers Market is done. Closing her up, latching her up. We'll get hooked up as soon as these folks move their tent and get back to the farm to unload. All right, Emma and Tyler just arrived home from Worthington. How was it today?
Busy.
Busy but great.
Good.
Yeah.
Hot? It's starting to get hot.
It wasn't bad in the morning.
Good. Yeah, this morning felt great, but now it's getting a little bit hot.
Oh yeah.
So this is Tyler's first market. What'd you think?
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
fast-paced, isn't it?
Super fast paced, but you know, you put some honest hard work in and feel good at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So,
I see we have another truck pulling in. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and get her unloaded. Hey, everything stayed up. My daughter and Sela and Steven just arrived home from Clintonville. It's gonna be a little bit of madness here for the next 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm sure the PAL truck will be rolling in here any minute and then Dublin right after that. How was Clintonville today? Hot? Yeah, it's very hot on that asphalt. Was it good?
Yeah, it did pretty good.
Okay.
A lot of corn at like 11.
Nice.
10, I'd say.
Oh, before 11?
11, 10.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Beans sold out around that time.
Nice. And just a few melons, half a bin or less, hopefully?
Like just ground layer.
Okay, not bad. Steven, what'd you think for your first market?
I think it's a speedy.
Yeah.
Fast, stay on your game, but I love it though.
Okay, willing to do it again?
Yes.
Awesome, good to hear that. Paige, how did it go today at the Powell Market?
It went well.
Was it hopping the whole time?
It wasn't as busy as last week, but it definitely was really busy for the
Okay.
most part.
And everybody asked for cantaloupes there
Yeah, and watermelon.
and watermelon. But were people happy to see cantaloupes finally?
Yeah, they were really happy.
Good, good. Nash, what'd you think of the market?
Great.
Good. Where'd you get? Did you get hot?
Yeah.
It was pretty warm out there on that asphalt.
Yeah.
All right.
And hot coffee didn't help.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, if we ever get in a jam again, are you willing to help again?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for helping today, Nash. I appreciate it. Trent, did you guys survive the Dublin market?
Oh yeah,
Was it a little rough?
a little bit.
Working with a new worker?
You're not live.
It is now 2 p.m. All the employees have unloaded and went home. My box trucks are all pulled back out in the driveway. Joel is out there currently doing inventory on his maple syrup and garlic. He raises those 2 items on his own and sells them through my markets. I get a 25% cut of everything he sells of his stuff, and then he takes the rest of it out of my money boxes. So that system seems to work out pretty well for both of us. Let's go have a little chat with Joel and see how he did today. All right, Joel's just wrapping up his garlic, maple syrup, and salsa inventory. I had forgotten about salsa. He also has salsa on the trucks. That is all his. So how did everything go today?
Went about average, nothing spectacular, but I'm about out of garlic, so that's a good thing. I don't have to deal with packing that anymore.
What do you mean you're out? You mean back at the farm, you're almost out?
I'm not out. I have a lot of orders online. I've got a few hundred pounds of orders that I ship out all over the state or the country.
Okay.
And then I have to keep it back about 200 to 300 pounds for myself for seed garlic. So I got about 600 pounds that I don't want to sell anymore here. I'll leave a little bit left online to sell, but that's about it. But
Okay.
yeah, maple syrup's been selling slowly and steady. It'll pick up at the end of the season when everyone's stocking up for winter time, and Christmas and all that, and they can't get it in the stores because we don't retail much. I don't wholesale, mostly retail everything.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
syrup or salsa. You said salsa.
Salsa, yeah, salsa did pretty good today. Some markets you just never know. It's like they'll sell like 5 little 12-ounce containers, like Clintonville, but today sold, I don't know, 20 or something. I mean, nothing amazing, but still every little bit helps.
Yep.
Yes, Clintonville sold 22. That's almost a record for them.
Nice.
40, double.
Good deal. It is gorgeous out. I mean, it's a little warm and humid now, but fortunately everybody got home and was done before the extreme heat of the day, which is kind of kicking in right now. It's about 85, but you couldn't ask for better weather for a morning farmer's market on Saturday. So now I'm just awaiting the arrival home of our mobile produce trailer at our satellite location in Marysville. She usually gets home about 2:45. We'll get her unloaded, send her home, and I'll show you in the cooler what all we have left, and then we'll sit down and talk numbers and discuss everything that we sold today at the farmers markets.
Oh, good. Oh.
It was a blemished melon that we put in the cooler for moments like this.
Oh, and good.
That's at least an 8 out of 10, almost a 9. There's a high sugar content in that, high bricks.
The
The refractometer.
the bricks meter, refractometer, whatever you want to call it. Test the sugar content.
So refreshing on a hot summer day. Watermelon would be even better.
This gets all sticky and crusty on my face and starts to burn.
Just think what happens when you have a beard when it gets all up in there. That is my favorite view of the week right there. 5 empty box trucks all lined up. An empty trailer there and an empty trailer there. That means that I can finally relax and enjoy the rest of this weekend. Let's go take a look in the cooler and I'll show you what we got left. It was a good day. I've seen better, but I'm not complaining. Turn the fan off here. All right. That's everything she brought home from the satellite location today. Pretty cleaned out. She did bring home these 5 tubs of corn, so she only sold about 20 tubs of corn. This is the corn that came home from 5 farmers markets. Not too bad. These 3 half bins is what came home from all 6 locations. So about 150 melons there out of 800. Not too bad. All of those are fresh picked ones last Friday that will be sold all through next week and next weekend. There's our stack of empty green beans that we sold today. They brought 2 bushels home that didn't sell. Really, really good. Let's take a look in the tomato cooler. See what we got left in here. That is everything that came home from 6 locations. 4 flats of grape tomatoes and 16 boxes of tomatoes. So here we are, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. 12 hours after I woke up to come out here and start packing. The day is officially over for me, and now we're going to sit down and talk numbers on some of the quantities of produce that we sold at our 6 locations today. So let's start off with the big one, the new item that we added to the market mix this week, cantaloupes. So I started off with 800 cantaloupes loaded on our 6 trucks and trailers, and we came home with 150, so we sold 650 cantaloupes. Some of them were priced at $5, but most of them were priced at $4, so probably an average of $4.25 or $4.50 per melon. Next up, sweet corn, 163 crates of corn times 4 dozen. That's 652 dozen ears of corn that we sold today at $9 a dozen average. Oftentimes we're getting more than that, closer to $10 to $12 a dozen, because we sell a lot of our corn in smaller increments of 1, 3, 4, or 6 ears. But we do have 2 stands, both the trailers, we sell the corn for $7 a dozen. So that brings that average down probably closer to $8 or $9 a dozen. Next up, green beans. We sold 33 bushels of beans times about 25 pounds, 825 pounds of green beans. Zucchini, we sold 16 tubs. Our tubs hold 1 3/4 bushels each. So we sold 16 times 1 point, let's just call it 1.5. 24 bushels of zucchini, and about half that on bell peppers and eggplant. Very few cucumbers. I only had 2 trucks with cucumbers. We're kind of in between patches waiting for our next patch to come on, so we were a little short on cucumbers today. Next up, tomatoes. We sold 1,220 pounds of tomatoes today. Times 295, because we lowered our price today. So we did $3,600 on tomatoes today. Not too bad. Tomato sales are slipping a little bit. That always happens this time of year because of all the competition. You know, every farmer that comes in the market has tomatoes now. And the last item we're going to talk about, grape tomatoes. We sold 264 pints today, times $6 a pint, $1,584 on grape tomatoes. So still not too bad, but I mean, they're about selling half of what they were selling earlier in the season. Even though I got a bunch of them out in my grape tomato greenhouse ready to be picked, we're letting them go because we need to focus on other more important crops like watermelon. So since sales are lagging on grape tomatoes, for example, on my trailer that went to our Logan County Farmers Market, our hometown market, we sold 5 pints. So the Columbus markets still do okay on Saturdays, but the weekday markets, you know, I can't even sell 1 flat. So it just doesn't make sense to keep focusing on the grape tomatoes and wasting labor picking those, because labor is not cheap when we got other things that are more important that need picked, like watermelons. So grape tomatoes are done. So yeah, there was a lot more items that we sold than that, but that is the bulk of them. And overall, I am really happy with how sales went today. You couldn't ask for better weather, and you know, you always bring some items home. It is great to sell out, but you don't want to sell out too early. For example, my daughter Natalie was at the Clintonville market and she sold her 36 tubs of corn by 11 o'clock. So we had about 50 minutes of good potential sales where we could have sold another 50, 60 dozen ears of corn. And now seeing that I have corn left over in the cooler because some came home on some of the other trucks, it makes me mad that I didn't pack it perfectly right. You just never know which market's going to really be firing on all cylinders and which markets may have slid just a little bit on sales. So it's kind of a guessing game, but usually I do a pretty good job of giving each truck exactly what they need. A big question I know I'm going to get in the comments, and I want to answer it right now. What do I do with all of my leftover hot produce that comes home from the farmer's market? I get this question all the time. So you probably can't see it. Right behind me, back there, you see those yellow tubs? Those are our slop tubs. So there's always some rotten tomatoes that get through and end up in one of the boxes. And, you know, it ruins some of the other tomatoes that are touching them. So, you know, that we have sloppy tomatoes we throw in there. A damaged zucchini or cucumber or pepper that maybe broke or got the skin punctured. You know, a handful of rotten cantaloupes that we didn't catch when we were picking them in the field. You know, quality control begins in the field. And if we miss something because we're working fast, because we have a lot to harvest in a short amount of time, every now and then something gets by. And, you know, it could be a bad ear of corn that maybe was pecked on by a bird or scratched open by a raccoon. So, you know, when those things get slipped by and get put out for sale, you know, no one buys those, and then it gets brought home and then we throw it out. But as far as the other good produce that you saw in the cooler, like all those leftover cantaloupes, zucchini, cucumbers, green beans, eggplant, any of those things that were left over, they are good to sell on Monday and Tuesday. After that, they're going to start looking pretty rough. But Monday and Tuesday, they will be just fine because I get them chilled down right away. Even though they've been out in the heat for a couple hours, they still look really good. But by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they'd be shot. And if we haven't sold them by then, they get composted right back in the field. Sweet corn, that's the one I haven't talked about yet. So Monday morning, I will peel back a couple ears of sweet corn, bite into them, and see how they taste. If they have good flavor, high sugar content, and are not mealy or starchy tasting at all, I will consider putting it on this trailer or taking it to the Hilliard Farmers Market on Monday and Tuesday. But if it tastes at all bland or starchy and not like fresh picked, it'll go right back out in the field. I could take it to a food bank but that is sometimes an hour drive. I got to have a PO, so I got to call the Columbus office, get approval at one of the distribution centers around the region. And it's just not worth my while to run up 50 or 100 dozen to drop off at a food bank and get pennies on the dollar. You know, I'll get something for it, but it's just not worth my time and effort and fuel. So it's just so much easier for me to just throw it in the field. Soup kitchens, food pantries, things like that. We used to have some of them come out and pick up our leftover produce, but again, it's a coordinating effort on my part, making phone calls, sending emails, meeting people at the farm if they're new, they haven't ever picked anything up here before. It's just a lot of time and effort. It's not as easy as you think to donate some of these things. And when you're picking thousands and thousands of pounds and dozens of this and that, throwing out a few tubs of this and that is really not that big of a deal. It's just part of doing business as a produce farmer. I know some of you don't like to hear that, but I do my part when I can, but it doesn't always get donated. Sometimes it just gets composted back into the field. Let's see, what else is there to say on that? I used to have people who raised exotic animals come and pick up all my waste produce and worms. I had some worm farmers come and pick up my couple tubs of produce every week. So, you know, over the last 25 years, we have done a lot of food banks, food soup kitchens, food pantries, and donating to other people that have livestock that'll eat it. But doesn't always happen. But sometimes it does. Well, that's the short of it. Just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I know there's a lot of people that will be inquiring in the comments. Well, I think this is where we're going to wrap up today's video, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. And I will see you all again next time, down on the farm.